Hello, my name is Charles Owl, 34 years old, and the founder and creative director of Charles Owl Inc. It's a lifestyle brand to start with. It's about elevating yourself. It was not always easy, and it still isn't easy. As you know, the fashion industry, men's fashion, is actually a saturated industry. You have to be unique, you have to be different, and you also have to do something that's about you. So for me, everything about the brand Charles Owl has my DNA in it. It's my name, but every article in it has my DNA in it. Everything that the brand has brought to market so far are things that I actually, as a person, am obsessed about. Growing up in Nigeria was actually fun. I got away with a lot of things that my siblings didn't get away with when they were younger. And part of it was obviously because I am the fifth of 5 children from my mother, also the only boy, I should mention. She made sure that she took care of me and made sure that I had everything. I've always actually known that I had something for fashion. Watching my siblings and my mother, just the way that they carried themselves and, in a very elevated, elegant way. One of my favorite memories is just being able to be creative. After I lost my father at a young age, my siblings were already in the United States, and they didn't want my mother to be back home by herself, especially after going through everything that she went through with my father's side of the family. They wanted her to come to the United States and just be here with them. Coming to the United States was a crazy experience. It was a challenging experience. Everyone always talks about the United States, and coming to the United States was like the big thing, where it's like you have to do it because money grows on trees, and once you're in the US, you're just everything is just gold and it's amazing. But coming here was just I was a total shock, but it was different from what I envisioned. Having to adapt to the way of life here, where you had to do everything for yourself. And back home, you had maids that did everything. You had a maid for every single thing. You had a driver, you had a chauffeur to take you to wherever you wanted to go. And then coming here, you have to get on the bus. And you had to go to public schools, and it was different. The private schools there, but we couldn't afford it. Coming from my African background, where you had to be a professional, which is a valuable thing, by the way. You had to have some form of prestigious career, professional path. That was kind of instilled in me, so being an artist was not an option for me. My mother's opinion about my fashion interest was actually very interesting, because at that point I was still in college and didn't have a job. I would use my allowance to buy the biggest designer clothes and accessories, and she would constantly get on my case about that. I lost my mother to pancreatic cancer right after college, and I think that situation instantly made me a man overnight. I went from having, the best friend, my support system, to having absolutely nothing. See, 2 of the values that she instilled in me is, first, your education is your legacy. It's one asset that no one would ever take away from you, or no one can ever take away from you. And the other thing is, a dead man's shoe never fits. My biggest motivation is my mother. And that's been like a driving force for me. After graduation from college, after my first job, I actually got an opportunity to work for Chanel, which is the world's fashion powerhouse. We worked on a strategy to make Chanel relevant to men. And I think it was at that point that I realized the opportunity in men's fashion that really propelled me to actually take a step further. And I decided to create this lifestyle brand that's dedicated to men's fashion and men's grooming. The first process in starting the Charles O brand was me, again, putting those thoughts on paper and then trying to source suppliers, which involved me traveling the world to find the right supplier, the right manufacturer. I landed in Como. It's a small city, but it's very known for its rich heritage in manufacturing silk. I met with different factories, and I decided to work with the Monaco family, who have been in the industry for over almost a century, and they're very, very well known and respected throughout the world. So just being in that environment with these people and sitting on the same table that you would have your Giorgio Armani plan as collection, that was a great experience for me. A Charles O man is right here. Someone who's very bold. For the ready-to-wear items, we have shoes, underwear, scarves, ascots, everything you can think about accessorizing yourself with. Everything with the brand is completely made by hand. I appreciate the detail and craftsmanship that goes into my articles. It all started in New York, obviously, because I was here when I was thinking about it. When I put it on pen and paper, it was all in New York. So that inspiration actually came from being in the city and watching, observing different people. A lot of me being a man and me being responsible for myself was not until I came to the United States, in New York. So, there you go. I believe it was in 2014 I met Giorgio Armani. It was it was a surreal experience for me. And I think that also it motivated me even more. I want to have an empire just like this man. When I think about my collection and what really drives and inspires my collection, like the Montaigne, for example, is inspired by Paris. My visit to Paris and just observing how the gentlemen dressed up elegantly, but still not too flamboyant, but certain characteristics, the mix, but sure a little flamboyant, but not necessarily out there, subtle in a way, but still flamboyant, if you get the mess, if you get the drift. For example, with the latest underwear collection, you would notice that they're multi-toned and the fabrics are also different. My collections, for example, the inspiration, the stories do tie back to my upbringing and from Africa, but it's not necessarily Africa per se. There's a lot of talent in Africa, and there's a lot of inspiration from Africa as well. Culture is amazing. One thing about me, or one of my philosophies, is not just about looking good on the outside or outward. It's very important to feel good inside as well, and as a result of that, I do exercise every single day. I work out with my personal trainer at least 3 times a week. I appreciate the good quality of life. After a hard day of work, I drink a glass of red wine. The most rewarding thing for me is to actually hear other people talk about the brand. We're featured on NBC's Access Hollywood in the US, also in Canada. We're also featured as the #1 spring trend for the Altitude collection. I was also mentioned as one of the best new luxury underwear brand by the Underwear Expert. We've also been featured in DNA magazine, BWR magazine, both here in the United States as well in Australia. I think for me that's rewarding, and it makes me feel like my work is being appreciated. My advice to the younger individuals trying to break into the fashion industry, I would say one thing: it's definitely not easy. However, you have to do things that you like. Never forget your heritage, never forget where you're from, and always try to incorporate that. For me, success is actually putting your plan, your thoughts into action. It doesn't necessarily equate to money, but it's about not being afraid to go after your dreams.